We've never trusted the government up here. I don't think we ever will. Doesn't matter who's in power, they're all a joke. And don't get started on Nigel either.
Self-interest, incompetence, and there's a small amount of corruption. But put the three together and there's not a lot of room for trust.
Not at all, no. I'm a pensioner and they've done some nasty things to pensioners over the last few months.
Do you trust the UK government?
Don't be silly. Well, every time they say something, it never ever happens. The lip service is there, but it just never materialises and it doesn't give you any faith in it at all.
And all the promises they made pre-election, they completely squashed them. Everything they said they wouldn't do, they did do. So how can you trust a government that does that?
People make so many false promises and don't keep up with it.
Not at all, no. I'm a pensioner and they've done some nasty things to pensioners over the last few months. He didn't promise anything and he hasn't delivered anything, so why would I trust him?
No, I don't like Labour. I don't trust Starmer at all. He's a villain. I don't like him. In fact, it's very difficult to trust any government now. You know, I don't know who to vote for. You know, it's very, very difficult. We vote independent now. You're an independent lad. He's a good lad where we live. But the rest I don't trust now. I don't trust them.
At the moment, no.
This government? No.
How come?
I just think... I don't know, it's a yes or no. Like, it's going to take a while, isn't it, for roll things in. It's going to take a while for them actually to be implemented and for things to change. But at the moment, not the best.
I just think it's full of empty lies, or empty promises, should I say.
No, not really. What isn't due to dishonesty tends to be, I think, due to sheer incompetence. More incompetence than dishonesty, but lack of action about something that's the right thing to do. So there's a lack of integrity just to get moral support for votes. Business with making migration an issue by the Labour government purely because the far right's pushing it. So those sorts of politics of expedience are horrendous. So self-interest, incompetence, and there's a small amount of corruption. But put the three together and there's not a lot of room for trust.
Yeah, just incompetence generally with how they handle things, to be fair. I just don't think they're doing what they say they're supposed to be doing, that, you know, they don't want to break their promise. And I just think that, yeah, I'm just waiting for this budget to see how it affects everybody, to be fair.
People were sick of 14 years of Conservative government and just thought, actually, we need something else. Starmer came in, he didn't offer much, but he offered something different. So I think that's why they got a lot of the vote. I think the landslide narrative, it wasn't true. If you are around the country, you know that wasn't true. That people were like, whoa, Keir Starmer, it's Blair all over again. It wasn't. So, like, he's only got himself to blame. This digital ID thing's messed up. The way he's gone on, do you know anyone that likes him?
I find it very hard to trust any of the politicians, really, to be honest. Probably vote the Greens or Liberal Democrats, or if it's a local election, they just want the independents, simply because of damage reputation. I don't think we'll have a voice up here, because people, not just Newcastle, but people in the North East, we don't have a lot of money. We've never had a lot of money. And yet we don't seem to be, I don't know if I should listen to it, but I don't seem to be taken seriously. All the big things seem to be happening in the South. You know, and we've got some terrible health problems here in the North East, some horrendous health problems, horrendous poverty problems. It's not funny.
I don't think they live in the real world. They're so detached. I think they're untouchable, and, you know, there's all these expense scandals and various other things, and yes, they are human beings and they're the same as us, but at the end of the day, they have no concept of real life and the working people. You know, they've never had that sort of... it's been a separate ladder for them to us, I think, and they just don't have the common people in heart, I don't think.
The Conservatives are all sort of privately educated, upper class twits, and you've got no other options, really.
How about the Green Party? How do you feel about them?
Well, it's all very well having ideas and opinions like they do, but they're never going to get into government, are they? So why stand there spouting about it? Go and do something different. You know, I just think they're a waste of space.
The trade unions had it maybe 40, 50 years ago, but even then you look at the people who were the power and who sort of brought all that to the fore, and it was people like Tony Benn in the 70s and the 80s, and he was like an aristocrat. I mean, his heart was in the right place, but he wasn't like genuinely of and for the... Well, he was for the working class people, but he wasn't of the working class people. How can we get into politics? I tried to get into politics when I finished uni. You can't. It's impossible unless you're down London.
We used to have a voice. It was called the Labour Party.
Yeah.
We don't have that voice anymore. There's always a trend in politics, and it goes back to Tony Blair and people even further back than that. And that is to get into government, the Labour Party struggles because the population in general don't really like the working class and they don't like unions, etc. So they tend to oppose voting for them. As soon as the Labour Party changes tack and decides to be more slightly conservative in their outlook, a lot of the population can latch onto that, because the Conservative Party have a history of not despising the working class. So Tony Blair did it, and our President, Mr Starmer, has done exactly the same thing. He says what he's going to do, he changes his mind, and his politics become slightly tinged with conservatism.
He's just a nothing politician, and he's more like a bureaucrat. We've never trusted the government up here. I don't think we ever will. Doesn't matter who's in power, they're all a joke. And don't get started on Nigel either.
Labour aren't in the best of situations at the moment as well, because the pressure that Reform give them as well. And I think just using a populist movement as well, Reform. It's unfair on everyone else, and unfair on Labour especially.
You mentioned Reform before, or how do you feel about Reform?
I think the idiot spreads hate and then tries to mask it. It's like a wolf in sheepskin. And he tries to scapegoat immigrants as well, and they're not the problem at all. He is. Impoverished areas as well, like up here as well. People vote for Reform as well, because he uses immigrants as that's the problem, that's why it's all poo, and it's just not. It's just previous governments like the Tories.
The way he can wind up the younger men in the country, I just think he's smarter than he leads on, because he gives quite a nonchalant, jokey persona, but he definitely knows what he's doing.
I tell you who will cause major damage at the next election, and that'll be Mr Farage.
Because people are so disillusioned now with so much that's happening in the political world, I think people will go for Farage, and I think they're going to be disappointed just the same, because they all seem to have this money tree that never seem to materialise, and it always seems to be the people who've got it get more, and the people like us, for example, like pensioners, get more and more taken away from them, and for all the years you've worked, and it just dwindles everything you've got, and you feel like a second-class person.
The worry, of course, is if all the parties are not looked on very favourably, nobody votes, and that is catastrophic, because the parties that you don't like, one of them's going to get in, so they have to back somebody really, and it's a tough decision now. Tough decision.
Farage, I don't hate him as much. I mean, a lot of people don't trust him. A lot of people think he's racist. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. He's got some good ideas. I mean, to be fair, we've got to try and stop so many people coming over, but we need the doctors, nurses, surgeons, the cleaners. You've got good people coming abroad who work very hard for this country. They pay their tax, they pay their national insurance stamps, and an asset to the company. They'll not get it. I can't say Labour get it the next time.
Would you ever vote for them again?
No, never again.
No. Probably vote the Greens or Liberal Democrats, or if it was a local election, they just want the independents, simply because of damage reputation.
Yeah, I do vote for Labour. I think nowadays it's sort of voting for lesser of two evils. Go for Labour. I'm not gonna go Tories.
I never have, so I never will. And I certainly wouldn't vote for Nigel Farage either. So.